The Diocese of Auckland holds a rich Catholic history. Along with the Cathedral, we will explore Northland
and the special relationship this region has with the man responsible for bringing the Catholic faith to these shores.
Right in the bustling heart of Auckland, New Zealand's largest city, is the Cathedral of St. Patrick and St. Joseph. This magnificent cathedral stands as a beacon of faith and history, just a short stroll from the Sky Tower.
I asked Father Chris Denham to tell us about this beautiful building.
This cathedral is the third church and the second cathedral to stand on this site. The first church, a small one-room wooden affair of which sadly no images remain, was built in 1841, almost immediately after the grant of land here in the centre of Auckland. Always with the intention that something larger would be built, and Auckland having become the national capital, a cathedral was completed in 1848. A rather smaller affair than this one, sufficient for its time. As Auckland began to grow, it was necessary to build something larger. In the 1880s, that project began and came to completion, at least for the first time, in 1907. This is a building that, by its nature, when you come in, you recognize that this is an older building, and yet it is one that has been almost continuously changed, renovated, restored, or simply beautified. It's a part of being the center of a community, that it's a place where people do not just gather to give praise and glory to God, but also a place where they come together to work, to build up both a spiritual community, but also a physical one. These two busts commemorate two of the most important people in the early life of the cathedral and the cathedral parish. This, of course, is Bishop Jean-Baptiste Pompallier, sent here as the Pope's first representative, apostolic vicar here to Oceania, and later the first Bishop of Auckland. It was he who began the construction of the first cathedral on this site and was bishop here for several decades. He recognized the need of something more than just the clergy, and indeed even the laity, to establish the life of the church here in Auckland. So he made a trip to Ireland, and there he recruited a hand-picked team led by Mother Cecilia Marr. These were Sisters of Mercy, who left behind their own community, their families, to journey 8 months in a ship to the other side of the world, in the full knowledge that they would almost certainly never return to their homelands. They came here, set up house quite literally in the cathedral garden, and remained here for some years. The day-to-day life of the cathedral parish was sustained by these women.
Whether you come here to attend Mass, to seek solace, or to admire the sheer beauty, the Cathedral of St. Patrick and St. Joseph offers a warm welcome to all pilgrims of hope.
Totara Point celebration of the Mass. It's always been celebrated here in the Hokianga. It's a gathering to commemorate the first Mass. It was celebrated by Bishop Pompallier in the Poynton family's home.
We stand on sacred grounds made holy by our ancestors in faith. We are commemorating the first Miha on this very site. A significant moment of grace for the Church, not only in New Zealand, but for the universal Church. After their long and arduous journey, they were able to praise God in the most holy sacrifice of the altar. Bishop Pompallier and his missionary companions left behind the comforts of home to seek God's presence in Aotearoa. They were able to make that journey, that hikoi, because they hoped in God's boundless mercy and love. The Holy Father is inviting us to embark on a spiritual journey, to imbibe the same spirit of the pilgrims of the first Miha. Leave our comfort zones, seeking a deeper connection with the divine and opening our hearts to God's grace.
This is the Church of Hakamaria St. Mary's here in Motuti. The church itself was originally built in the latter part of the 19th century and stood at Purako. Purako was the site of Bishop Pompallier's first mission station here in the Hokianga. And in 1922, it was floated up the Hokianga and was brought up to the present site here in Motuti. And it was renamed Hakamaria St. Mary's after originally being named St. Agnes. In 2002, the remains of Bishop Pompallier were brought back here to rest amongst the people in Motuti.
On special occasions, such as the annual Mass at Totara Point, Bishop Pompallier's casket rises under the altar, exposing beautiful carved taniwha on its side.
This is a deeply spiritual experience for those fortunate enough to witness it.
We were invited to be part of the hekoi to bring back the bones of Bishop Pompallier. It was a lovely celebration. He was able to do what would now be called a grand tour of New Zealand, visiting many of the parishes throughout Aotearoa. We came up here and we interred his bones here in Motuti, and it's just been lovely to keep coming back here.
Bishop Jean-Baptiste Pompallier's story continues here in Kororareka, Russell. Once the capital of New Zealand, Russell was a bustling settlement for both Māori and European settlers in the early 1800s. Bishop Pompallier bought land here in 1839 and built what is now not only the oldest Roman Catholic building, but also the oldest industrial building in Aotearoa, Pompallier House. The house itself is largely constructed of rammed earth along with sand and rocks from the beach, which was a form of construction very familiar to the French brothers and a lot cheaper than timber at the time. And while only the house remains today, there were a number of buildings, including a chapel on site. Well, this is the original Gaveau printing press that Bishop Pompallier ordered from France. And throughout the 1840s, it printed up to 40,000 books and pamphlets, including some of the first in Te Reo. So it was a very effective contributor to both literacy and evangelisation. In 1857, it was gifted to Waikato Māori, to the Kingitanga, and returned by the then Māori Queen to Pompallier House some 100 years later. And it has been restored to original working order.
Standing in a quiet corner is a recently repainted statue of Mother Mary. She is reputed to have been brought over by Pompallier himself, which makes this statue the first of Mary in the country. As you wander through Pompallier Mission House, you can imagine the important work that was done.
As the brothers who toiled here made books that were to spread the gospel in Te Reo.
From the printing of words on paper, to the making of leather covers, to the stitching that held these precious books together.
I'm standing on historic ground here at the Waitangi Treaty Grounds. And what was Bishop Pompallier's involvement? Well, he insisted on a clause in the treaty that upheld the religious freedom of all people, not only Catholics, but also Māori spirituality. Bishop Pompallier was also responsible for translating scriptures into te reo and also writing Mō in 1842.
Thank you for exploring the fascinating sights of the Diocese of Auckland with me. A pilgrimage here is a path into the world of Pompallier and the deeply affectionate relationship he enjoyed with tangata whenua. May we follow his lead and celebrate the differences of all the peoples who inhabit this land.